Hi guys, so I'm back, and last night I realized that Valentine's Day is not too far away now. So I thought I'd do a video for books that you might want to read to get you in the Valentine's Day mood. Now I can't lie, I'm not a big romantic book fan. I mean, I like romance as much as any other girl, but mine's got to have like a darker twist to it. But there are some books I do recommend if you're kind of looking for a good romantic book that maybe you just want to read for now till Valentine's Day or something, or maybe you just like romantic books in general, so I hope this helps. Here we go. The first book is Fallen in Love by Lauren Kate. It is a novella, I guess, kind of like it's like a book in between books, I guess, of the series Fallen, and it's about all the characters throughout the book that you really come to know and how they all fall in love. Now, if you have not read the first book in the series, Fallen, you might want to do that before you read this one. This one introduces all the characters that you're going to learn. In this book is about a girl named Lucy. She goes to this boarding school for kids that are like troubled, basically. It's an abandoned little place in nowhere, and she's this guy named Daniel, and he's gorgeous, and she's drawn to him, but he pushes her away. She doesn't know why. Turns out that they've been falling in love for centuries in every single one of her past lives, and he's been there through each of her past life. And in each past life, when she realizes kind of like who he is, she literally bursts into flames and dies, and then he waits for the next cycle. So this one is about past lives. Very good, fairly thick. I personally loved it. It was just nice for me to kind of read a book that's kind of more innocent, sweet, rather than just straight up like sex lust and everything. So that's what we're concerned. If you read this and you like it, you do not really have to read the next book in the series to actually read Fallen in Love, though I do recommend it. But if you've read the second one, you're like, okay, let's consider this one. Definitely good for Valentine's Day. It actually came out last year for Valentine's Day. I read Fish on Valentine's Day, so definitely a good book to read. So there's those two. The next one I have is by Claudia Gray, and as you may know, if you don't know who she is, and if you do know, she wrote the Evernight series. I have not read Balthazar, unfortunately, but I read the first few, and I absolutely love them. They were just so good. I couldn't put them down, literally. But this is a new series she started, and it's called Fateful. This one is about werewolves. She went in a different direction. It's about a girl named Tess, who's a servant in London, and her masters, her evil, like stepmother, kind of like, well, not a stepmother, but just you get the drift, decides, oh, we're going to go on the RMS Titanic to America. That's brilliant. Where she plays this guy, Alec. And he's a wealthy, first-class guy, kind of like reverse Titanic movie. And she is also drawn to him, only there's just one little problem. Every day, Kazan turns into a big-ass wolf, and he kind of just is miserable. He's trying to figure a way out of it. And naturally, they're on Titanic, so it's a fated ship. So, again, another really good book that you might want to consider reading if you kind of want something romantic but supernatural. Claudia Gray. Definitely good, and I just love the cover, just the whole look. I thought it was so cool. I was like, ooh, the great cover I saw at the bookstore. So there's that one. The next one I have is about fairies. Now, I'm not a big fairy person. The only reason I picked this book was honestly, again, the cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you kind of have to, and it goes in the right direction, sometimes it goes in the wrong direction. It honestly depends. This one is called Wings. It's by April and Pike. This book came out a while ago. It's not super thick. And let's see. Oh, and Fateful is not a good size, by the way. This one is about Laurel. She lives in a town, and she goes to this new school. She meets a guy named David, and one day she wakes up with a pimple on her back, which is weird because she never gets pimples. 2 days later, boom, there's a big blossom on her back. Turns out she's a fall fairy, and she's not even human, which is a big shock to her. So it turns out her parents aren't even her real parents. They were barren, couldn't have kids, and she just kind of showed up on their doorstep because the place they lived on, this land they lived on, had the entrance to Avalon, which is the fairy kingdom, I guess. Yes, fairy kingdom. And so the reason that she was put there is because they wanted her there so she could inherit the land and protect it. So that's why she's there. Turns out she meets this other guy, Tamani, who's a sentry, which is kind of like, a soldier of Avalon. And kind of like Twilight, love triangle comes on. Oops. Love triangle shows up. And David, the human boy, loves her. Tamani, the fairy boy, has loved her for years because fairies age differently. He's been watching her since she's a little kid and everything. And Tamani can show her her world, and David can show her the human world. Well, it's not the only problem. They have trolls coming after her, too. Trolls are the natural enemies of fairies, and they've been trying to get into Avalon for years, so they're trying to use little to get into the land. So, very good book. I loved it. The last book came out a while ago. I pretty much flew through that book, I think, 2 days. It was just so fabulous, so amazing, and the author, even though it's really well written, it doesn't always feel like you're kind of like in a fairyland. I mean, technically you are, but April Pike does a really good job of articulating this world. All the books I've shown you are fantastic. I only recommend books I personally have loved. The last one I have for you, if you're into romantic stuff and are looking for something that's maybe kind of like Fallen, but not about angels, is called Evermore by Alison Noel. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the book with me. I borrowed it from a girl at the time, so I have every book but the first and last one. But this one is about past lives as well. It's about Ever Bloom. Her parents and sister died in a car accident a few years ago. She now lives with her wealthy aunt in California. I know, dream come true for most girls. And not like the crappy parts, like nice parts like Orange County, all that stuff. The stuff you see on TV. That's where she lives. She has this weird ability after the accident. She can see auras, which explain the person, and she can kind of figure out their moods, and she can kind of read minds. So she tries her best to block them out. And she kind of is, honestly, maybe we would call like an emo chick, kind of like, or maybe just depressed. She walks around with the hood up, her iPad all the time. And then one day this guy comes to her school. Damien, I think is it. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but he is, again, super sexy stranger drawn to him. Turns out, kind of like in Fallen, they have been in love for her past lives. There's just, of course, a problem. His ex-wife kind of kills her in every life. She hunts her down and wants to kill her in this life as well. And she's killed her in all her past lives, as I said. And the thing is about this guy, he's immortal. He doesn't age. He never dies. So the first book is about how she kind of learned that she is an immortal as well. So I'm not going to give away the whole ending or everything, but it's very good. I, again, loved it. I read the whole book series, couldn't put it down. And I hope you guys like it too. It's definitely a good book, worth reading, definitely worth your time. But those are all the books I have for you that are like, that I think are like kind of Valentine's Day oriented, especially Fall in Love. I mean, that was written for Valentine's Day. But the rest of them, they're very romantic, very sweet. So if you've read the books, if you read any of them, let me know what you think about them, hated them, loved them, what you liked and what you didn't like about them. Or if you just, like, you know, want to know more about the book, let me know what you think. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back with you soon on more books you can read. Okay, bye!